So we have a bit of time. Now we'll do the concluding sutta, chapter 16. This is a very short sutta, very important one. Ahita Thera Sutta. The original title is simply Thera Sutta. Thera means elder. Ahita means not beneficial, unbeneficial. The discourse on the elder who is unbeneficial. A 5.88. So now you have A, Anguttara Nikaya, or numerical sayings, numerical discourses. Here the theme is even famous teachers can have wrong views, right? This is a very timely teaching because it reminds us to be careful, especially about religion. Religion is very imaginative. We say a lot of things which we can't prove, things we don't see, and we say, well, in the gods, devas, demons, heavens, hells, we have not seen them ourselves, So this is where, just like that, the Princeton lecturer I was mentioning, he says that, okay, if we look at Buddhism scientifically, that means we have to put aside all those things we cannot really demonstrate. Those things taken on faith. So we have to leave aside things like gods and demons, even karma and rebirth. We can't really prove them. So we have to put them aside. So what are we left with? We are left with the essentials. What are the essentials here? Essentials are meditation, right? You meditate, you can feel the peace. It can be demonstrated now. It can be scientifically measured. So we know meditation really works, and that's good enough actually for Buddhism. And then the Four Noble Truths. So this Robert Wright, his lecture, in fact, you might say, it's going to be 6 hours of lectures over a few weeks. He's going to show how evolutionary psychology, evolutionary science even, shows the Four Noble Truths actually make sense, right? So we can still survive and prosper as Buddhists, even though we may not believe in those things we can prove, even if you like. Right? So this is a great thing about Buddhism. You see, you start with what you're comfortable with, what you can understand, and you build up from there. In other words, you're not encouraged to believe. Rather, you try it. You don't say, you bring a nice dish and say, believe me, this is very nice, and don't allow it to taste. We won't know. You got to taste it. That's the only way, right? So meditation, we taste the teaching, right? And there's only one taste, the Buddha says. The taste of the Dharma is the taste of freedom. Freedom is another word for liberation. Freedom is another word for nirvana. So you don't need belief there. So, in this sutta, let's look at page 204, right? The elder with wrong view. Bhikshu, the conduct or the way of an elder accomplished in 5 qualities is not beneficial for the many, not for the good of the many, not for the happiness of the many. It is for the loss and suffering of gods and humans. What are the 5? So in other words, these are 5 qualities which is not good when found in a monk or in a monk who is a teacher. The elder is of long standing, long gone forth. He's a very elderly old monk. He is well known, famous, with a following of great crowds of householders and renunciants, so he's got a lot of followers. He is a recipient of robes, alms, food, lodging, and support for the sick and medical requisites. In other words, to put simply, he's wealthy. There's a lot of things, property. Number 5, he's deeply learned and expert, a store of learning, right? So these are normal qualities actually, right? But he has all these qualities. There's one problem, look at number 5. But he is of wrong view and deviant vision, right? He has all these wonderful qualities. This first 4, okay. But the last one, he has wrong view. He teaches wrong things. I remember when I was in Thailand long ago, in Thailand you got thousands of monks. And there was one strange monk, he is quite well known in public because of his wrong views. He says, normally as a monk you never say killing is alright. Never, Even bad people, you won't say killing is right, because it actually it's very dangerous to say that. You might lose your monk status because if you say it's okay to kill, people kill on your account and they quote you, that means you have fallen from the state of a monk. So he says that communists are not humans, you can kill them. So people were shocked and said, wow, So imagine, this is definitely a wrong view. He's a famous monk, right? So how can you say that, isn't it? Because people can change, you see. So this is very, very dangerous, in other words. That's why the Buddha, it's amazing, the Buddha can know all this. I mean, the Buddha lived 2,500 years ago, He knows that there will be people who talk like that. So he's warning us, watch out. There will be people, they look old, they seem wise, they have great learning, they have great following, they have big temples, and so on, but they can still have wrong views. Right? They are good speakers, they have fan clubs, whatever, but they still can have wrong views. So listen very carefully and don't follow blindly. 2.2. Having made the masses turn away from the true Dharma, he establishes them in what is not true Dharma. Thinking the elder monk is long-standing, long gone forth, all the other qualities. He's well-known, famous, he is a wealthy monk, he's learned, and so on. So people think, it's okay to follow his views. Look at 2.3. This is the warning the Buddha gives. Bhikshus, the conduct or the way of an elder accomplished in these 5 qualities is not beneficial for the many, not for the good of the many, not for the happiness of the many. It is for the loss and suffering of gods and humans. Notice here, if wrong teachings are given, the Buddha says even the gods suffer, because the gods are also listening, and they also believe or not believe. So if wrong teachings like this are given, it affects heaven and earth, so to speak. But on the happy, positive side, the elder with right view, section 3. Bhikshus, the conduct or the way of an elder accomplished in 5 qualities is beneficial for the many, for the good of the many, for the happiness of the many, for the benefit of the many, for the benefit and happiness of gods and humans. What are the 5? The elder is of long standing, long gone forth, very long time a monk. He is well known, famous, with a following of great crowds of householders and renunciants, in other words, layperson as well as monastics. He is a recipient of robes, alms, food, lodging, and support for the sick and medical requisites. He is well endowed, in other words. He is deeply learned and expert, a store of learning, and then his description is given. Those teachings that are good in the beginning, good in the middle, good in the end, both in the spirit and the letter, or both in meaning and phrasing, that affirms the holy life, fully, complete, and pure. Such teachings he has learned much, remembered, recited verbally, investigated with the mind, and penetrated well by view. Number 5, and he is of right view and not of deviant vision. Having made the masses turn away from what is not the true Dharma, he establishes them in the true Dharma. So when the people see him like this, they benefit from all this. So they see all these 5 qualities in this elder, and they also benefit, right? So there you are. It's a very short sutta, but reminding us to be wise, to be careful, right? So in Buddhism has got this internal safety mechanism. It's telling that you have even to be careful of yourself. Look at yourself, say, what are you thinking now? Right? If you're thinking negative things, it's going to bring negative karma. So if you think happy things, you will bring happy results like that. So it's not something euphoric, just say everything is okay. But the reality is not everything is okay. There's always suffering out there. There's a song where everything is beautiful. You sing this, and then you go to Africa, you see all those poor children suffering. How can we say everything is beautiful, right? So we've got to be very sensible in religion also. We've got to look around, have our reality check, and we've got to reach out to people who are suffering. We cannot just say nice things about the Dharma, but then we don't act it out. We have to also act it out, right? So that's the meaning when you say Buddhism or true religion. It's not just knowing things, but you see a change in you, and then you act it out. Your actions benefit other people. So that's what these two suttas are trying to tell us. Okay, so we end here. That's nice, huh? Anyone has anything to ask? Very nice to see lots of old friends here today, huh? Okay, so now we'll end this first part by a short reflection. When we know the Dharma, we experience a very deep aspect of life. Even when we know other people and we know in the Dharma, we find this connection. It's a very beautiful one. It's a connection of joy and peace. And then we will continue meeting in this way in the future until we come to the point of awakening. So in other words, as we go through life, we see a lot of things that challenge us, that cause us pain and suffering. We might even fall sick, our health is affected, our body is affected. All these are reminding us, although our physical being, our social being is not perfect, there is something in us that can be made perfect. That is our minds, or to be more exact, the peacefulness of the mind. No matter how weak we are, physically, socially, financially, and so on, but spiritually, spirit here means the mind. If we are strong in the mind, then everything is all right with us. We are at peace with ourselves. And this is what we should work towards, because we all change, we all age, we all grow old, we all decay. And the older we grow, the more we understand the Dharma in this way. Now, reflecting in this way is very good karma, very good mental karma. By the power of such karma, may our minds be at peace even in this life itself. Above all, may we, by the power of all our good deeds, through our generosity, practice of the precepts, our desire to know what is good, our desire to know true peace, may we attain spiritual liberation in this life itself, at least by stream winning. And also in this moment of peace, let us send out our loving kindness to all our teachers, that they may be well and happy, to our loved ones, that they may be well and happy too, and also to those whom the Dharma have not touched, that they may be well and happy. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. So if you are new first time, make sure you leave with us your email.